both have the matching. Welcome to Office Hours, where Sto and I are matchy today with the hoodies up. This is our Den Music Fest episode, special edition, because we are in the midst of Den Music Fest. We just had our Atlanta show on Sunday, like 2 days ago, and it was incredible. Actually, let me bring Justin, LastNameGood, who co-produces Den Music Fest, is here with us, so he's going to join us in a second. Sto, anything? Hi, hello, how are you? I forgot how to do this.
My bad. I was trying. What is happening? Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Yo, Den Music Fest. It's happening now. The show was the first one was just a couple days ago. There's another one coming right up. Yo, like before we even step into anything. Well, actually, hold on. First off, hit the like button. Appreciate you all for. It was episode 101. We're entering the new era as we head towards 200. But yeah, let's just hop right in. Yo, how was last night? Or I'm sorry, not last night. I'm sorry, this past weekend.
It was good. It was good. Cool. Good vibes. Good vibes. First, hey, how everybody doing? I'm sorry. I'm just like kind of jumping in. Yeah. How's everyone?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
So I said this, but I'm going to say it again. LastNameGood co-produces Den Music Fest with me. We met in Atlanta 8 years ago, in the middle of A3C, when Ace Harris was like, wait, you two need to know each other. And yeah. I had just come back from Liberia, where I had produced this like huge music festival. Justin had been running Straight Out the Den for, I don't know, how many years?
And that was 2017 so that had been 5 or 6 years at that point.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with Straight Out the Den, it was a super impactful indie blog that was putting on like artists that today you're like, oh, I love that person. Mm-hmm. LastNameGood was writing about it, like, and so after years of really like giving a platform to these artists from around the country, he was ready to start a festival. And so Ace Harris connected us because I had done the work and we were kind of aligned. And then we did that first festival, and then we did the second, and then we did the third, and then we did the fourth and the fifth and the sixth. And then this year is our 8th. Last year we expanded from Atlanta to LA. So now we're doing an Atlanta stage and an LA stage. So Sunday we had our Atlanta stage, which we're going to talk about. And then Saturday we're doing our Los Angeles stage for the second year, which is super exciting. So we're basically like doing 2 shows. But yeah, Justin, like, and today we're going to talk about independent festivals and like why they're important. But Justin, yeah, like how I'm like still riding the high.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, we do all of this work leading up to, and I don't think we truly understand what we're doing until we're like right in that moment. And we hear from other people, right? Like we hear, oh man, like you guys are putting on something special. This really feels like community. So like when Nora and I say community, I think a lot of times people just say think that we're just saying words, and then they get there and everything feels like a family affair, right? So it's not just, an artist show up, perform, and then leave. It's not that thing. Like most artists, I would say, if I'm being realistic, about 80 to 90% of the artists show up at the beginning and stay to the end, right? And they're there, they're engaging with all of the acts, they're engaging with the crowd. And because we've built this, coming back after the pandemic, we had to be more intimate. And so doing these intimate shows, people feel like right in front of the crowd. And so when they're in front of the crowd, they leave feeling like they knew everybody there. And people are leaving with followers and people talking about their music that night, and it continues on, right? Like it's not just, oh, one night it was an experience, it's over with. We've seen people 3 months down the line talk about songs that they heard at Den Music Fest, and we end up seeing artists collab with each other that performed on the same bill. And so it's one of those things where it's just continuing, the cycle of good motion and people enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like people hear the word community and think that it's like a buzzword that we're throwing out there, but it really, and I think a lot of it has to do because we're independent. We're not beholden to any like sponsors. We're not there like, please make sure you thank this and this sponsor. It's really like, I get to say whatever I want. Justin gets to say whatever he wants, and we get to curate the space however we want. And we select, and we're very selective about who we bring into the space and how we hold it. And so you can come by yourself and you will leave knowing people that you didn't know before.
Right.
Or, like you can't, it's safe enough for you to come by yourself and you're not going to experience anything like weird or sketchy or uncomfortable because we hold people to that. And it was, I'll say on a personal note, like it was, so our hosts in Atlanta were Cheyenne and Truth Hayes. And, where Truth would get like really in his feelings about like seeing a certain artist or, we had like Alfred Banks, who they had known each other virtually for a long time. And on a like personal note, it was really kind of interesting to hear Truth say, I'm gonna get a little emotional, but Nora would like this. And I was like, yes, I would. Yes, I would. Because we've created this space where people, I think, have like learned our values over years and have not only like learned it, but now feel comfortable enough to live in it and practice it and like have these open displays of like love and support and emotion for one another or whatever it might be. And so I think that's part of, and like, I'm really 8 years as an independent festival, like that's not a small feat. And so the fact that we've been able to do it and that people are picking up on it and getting it and like, it has become like our community is invested in us and have taken ownership of the festival. Feels amazing, but also is part of what allows us to do this year after year without a budget, without sponsors, because if they didn't believe in us, we couldn't continue this year after year after year.
Yeah, no, that's real. I think the other part in that is just it takes a while to build trust, right? And I can't really speak for LA, but I can tell you here in Atlanta, there's a lot of take, right? Like there's a lot of take from artists, from indie artists specifically, right? And Atlanta is a city where once you're on, everybody loves you, right? And then the opportunities just start coming out of the woodworks. But on your way up, the average artist is, I've heard countless experiences of people disguise themselves as like for you, and then it ends up being like, yeah, so that'll be 500. You know what I mean? And it's so many, and I won't go into too many details, but we had an experience about that the day of the festival where we had an artist that came in and he was just expressing to me just like, yo, bro, you don't understand. Like the minute I touch down and I pull up at this spot and I'm engaging with this platform that's dope, but I realized that I was just a number to them, right? Like it was a number. I paid a fee and I was like one of like 40 or 50 people that also paid this fee. And their conversation with him was like, oh man, but you're actually dope though. And it was just like, what do you, they didn't know that this was somebody that tours the world, literally tours the world, like performing. But they just looked at it as just a number, an opportunity, another dollar to make. And he just expressed to me like, man, you guys are doing something special because you truly care about artists. It's not just a money grab, if you will, So that's something that's always special to me, just to know that artists can understand what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you all are doing. I guess the one thing I really want to make sure we touch on here is like, yes, it's not Coachella, it's not Pitchfork Festival, but this is important. This is big time what's happening here. And I think, and from both sides, not just the consumer, but I think some artists get mixed up where they're like, oh, well, if it's not Coachella, like, what's the point? And it's like, like this is bigger than that. To an extent, I'll even say that. Like I don't care about profit and all that stuff. The community that's built here and what you guys do before the show, during the show, after the show, I think is just no one else is doing that right now. And these independent festivals that are doing this is I think setting a precedent for what needs to be happening moving forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll go ahead, Nora.
So I was just gonna say, like, I think that's something Sto, you and I talk a lot about on office hours is like, you can get on the platform, but it's what you do to flip it and leverage it that really matters. And if you think that it starts and ends with getting booked at big name, enter big name here, then that's where you failed. And I think for us at like Den Music Fest and any smaller like festival, it's the opportunity to do more with a little bit is so much bigger.
Yeah.
And it's so like we're both like process and outcome, right? Like Den Music Fest exists because Justin and I have leveraged our relationships and with the artists, with our network, with our, all that stuff. So we're both practicing what we're teaching, but then it's also a space where people can practice that for themselves. And it's interesting to see like artists who take advantage of that and then artists who come in and come out and like, which is fine. Like we don't judge how you do it, but like if I was to do a quantitative study, it's the artists who commit and connect and like do those pieces who now like later on in their career are in a much better or are further along than in their careers. So yeah, go ahead, Justin.
No, I was just gonna say, I've been on all sides of it, right? Even as a touring artist at one point myself, you see the 1,000 cap room versus the 100 cap room, and you see the difference, right? Like I've opened up for major artists where people literally did not care that we were on stage, right? You were just an act to get to the person that they came to see. And we've been in those spaces where, it's 50 people in the room, but all 50 people left wanting what we had, you know what I mean? And so I think that's important, especially for indie artists coming up, because yes, everybody wants to perform in front of 3,000 people, right? Like that's the goal. We would be lying if we would say that we didn't want 3,000 people showing up to Den Music Fest. Yes, we would love that, right? But the realistic view is to get to that, you really have to build a solid foundation. And if the foundation is not solid, you will have a festival of 3,000 people. And then next year, no one's interested because they pulled up thinking that it was going to be insert big festival, right? And then they get there and realize like, oh no, these are a bunch of people I don't know. So like, why would I keep doing this? And for us, we are about providing a platform for artists that you don't know, right? So Nora and I are facing an uphill battle every year, right? Like we're putting together a lineup of people who you do not know. And we understand that there is challenges in marketing that to people, like to show up to see people that you don't know. That is a real challenge. But the goal is for you to get to know them when you're there, right? Like we've had artists on the festival that have went from, performing at the downstairs portion when we were in the music room or upstairs in like our small space to like getting signed to major labels. And we've had artists that signed with Eminem, we've had artists that signed with Reach Records, we've had artists that signed with RCA that all have been on our stage and at the time had a fan base, but the world didn't know who they were, and now the world know who they are. And it's just like, it just shows you that you can't skip the steps, right? Like you have to start somewhere, and when you get there, treat it like it's the 3,000 cap venue,
That's the other thing is I think artists sometimes treat like major spaces as a one and done. Okay, I did it, done. I went to this conference, done. South by Southwest, check.
Yep.
Opposed to the like overtime building of relationships. And one thing I'll say about our Atlanta in particular, and y'all like I'll plug this real quick, but the Atlanta stage live stream is available on Live Hip Hop Daily. The link is also in like the notes. So if you missed the show, watch it. If you got some FOMO, go back and check out some of these incredible performances that we had. But one of the things, so like our Atlanta audience comes back year after year because they learned something, got something, discovered a new artist. And so we have an audience that is open to being the discoverers, like being the ones. And so then for our artists, like we've had people start off as a host and then they were a performer. We've had people like start off as a vendor and then become like, you know, they come back, they evolve from one stage to not evolve like there's an increasing improvement, but move from one stage to another. Artists from Atlanta came to LA last year. And so like the repeated coming back, which I think is also like I take as a sign of like we're offering people something that makes them feel good, want to come back and they feel supported by us, because I think one of our values at Den is that we treat artists well, because a lot of spaces don't. So we treat our artists first, our artists well, and then our audience well. But like there's space to grow and deepen that relationship. So rather than treating it as a check mark, treating it as something real and valuable then helps grow what people are able to take away from it. Because the one and done, like relationship building doesn't work that way. Like if you want 30 seconds of office hours, that's the one thing I hope you take away from me and Sto, is that like relationships take time and the business is nothing but relationships. And that's also true with like independent festivals or conferences or whatever it might be.
Yeah. No, that's super important. I'm glad you said that, Nora. That's super important.
Yeah, word. Appreciate you all tuning in. It's halftime here. It's always crazy how fast these sessions go when we're actually talking about good shit. But I wanted to ask, you know, if I'm an artist, maybe Den is my first like big opportunity, right? And it's my first time really getting out there. What are even just 3 things maybe, that was 6, but 3 things maybe that we should be doing while it doesn't, and honestly, even if whether you're an artist or you're just showing up to watch, like what, whether you're networking or whatever, like give me even 3 things that we can do to whether it's enjoy the festival more or get more out of it. Because there's different angles, I feel like, with a festival like this, right?
I'll speak from the artist side of things. The one thing that every artist should do, and I don't care if it is a sticker or a pencil, a t-shirt or a hat, you have to have merch on you. Every year that we've had this festival, there are artists that do it, and then there's artists that don't do it. And I can tell you, very confidently, I can tell you that the artists that bring merch sell merch. Just that simple, right? Like it's just that simple. I don't want to sugarcoat it. This is not the space to sugarcoat. Artists come to perform, and that's it. Because a lot of artists don't know that, you know, I don't know if it's a mental thing or what, but I truly believe that a lot of artists just have a lack of information, but they don't have merch. And that is the way that you prolong the experience, right? Like if after my performance, if you love my performance, yes, I want you to follow me. Yes, I want you to stream my music. But hey, here's a physical copy of my album. You can take this with you. I'll sign it. I don't care if you don't play it, but here, I'm gonna sign it, put it in your collection, right? Here's a t-shirt. Let me take a picture with you with this t-shirt on so we can keep this memory exchange going. And I think a lot of times artists miss out on that piece for whatever reason, right? And I can say that it really doesn't matter what you have starting off, right? Like we've printed on Gildan t-shirts, right? Like we put sticker $5, you know, $10 stickers and getting like 100 stickers for $10 just to pass them out. And they're not good quality stickers, but you need to have something in order to give people or have them for purchase, right? That's just an extra income stream that you can literally make $50 to $100 a show just by having something, right? And so I stress that to every artist. That's the number one thing you should do. If I'm doing 2 more very quickly, I would say from the artist side, have your merch, have a plan in place for your performance, right? Like don't just show up to perform, like really think about your show
and put on a show, because you will be remembered for the show that you put on, good or bad. If you have a bad show where you're rapping over vocals, something that we don't play at Den Music Fest, but I've seen artists rap over their vocals. But just be prepared in your performance, so your merch, be prepared in your performance, and stick around. Like, stick around. I can't stress that enough. If you stick around just to talk to people, think about it just very quickly. Think about your favorite artist. Think about if you had an opportunity to go to a concert of your favorite artist, and your favorite artist stuck around and talked. You will never forget that for the rest of your life. You would never forget that. And so I think artists have to keep that in their mindset, like, especially at this stage where you're building that foundation, you have to do what it takes right now to keep a lifelong fan. You're not at the space where you can go and do a insert big festival and do that lineup of 20,000 people and people are screaming your words. You're not there yet. And yes, I hope you get there. But until you get there, you need to be treating every single person you come in contact with like they're your number one fan. And they'll in turn become your number one fan at some point.
That is especially true at a music discovery platform.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows you before you perform. So like, you're just another person. Once they see you on stage, and this is true at conferences, this is true, like, once they see you do your thing, now your value and role in that space has changed. So artists will perform and then they run out the door because they think like that's the cool thing to do or whatever. Like, they want to make an appearance, they want to make a dramatic exit. Well, now you're missing the primed quality that now people know who you are.
Yeah.
And now they want to talk to you, but you're ghost because you think that's what an artist is supposed to do. That after performance, when you're available and you've made them feel something and they've seen you perform. So that's super clutch. And I want to shout out, y'all go back and watch the live stream and watch Alfred Banks's performance. This man came on stage with a Mr. Rogers background, changed his shoes, like took his unexpected, 2, commanded the room and took his time and then took people on a journey. And you can tell that this was someone who had thought ahead of time about the experience that he wanted to curate for the audience. And that's true for all of our artists who are thoughtful performers. Yeah. The other thing I would add, in addition to everything that Justin said, is if nothing else, collect some email addresses, because you best have a newsletter that then you can send a follow-up to those people and say, hey, lovely meeting you at this festival. Here's a link to my song so that here's the set list I performed and here it is again for you. Or if you didn't get a chance to buy merch or just thank you, shaking hands and kissing baby. So collect those email addresses. And then from the artist side, this is the clutchest time, but also as a fan, like, the lineup is released ahead of time. You have all the information. So if there's an artist you want to meet or you want to collaborate with, this is a great time to say, yo, I saw that you're going to be at Den Music Fest. Yeah. I've been following your career. I'm going to be at the Los Angeles show on November 8th. Can't wait to see you. As opposed to like sliding into the DMs and shooting a random shot. And especially as artists, now you all have shared a lineup together. So even if you're not in the same, you've got, because, and we do this very intentionally at Den Music Fest, I send out an email to all the artists across all our stages and make sure that they know each other. And so y'all should be in the comments connecting, and in the comments and in the DMs and in the sharing and hyping and amplifying, because then when you meet each other, there's already a familiarity. And then that makes any kind of networking and collaboration, which is really the point of all this, because now you're on a stage with people who are kind of at your level, like y'all are peers. This is the best place to do that cross-pollination, cross-collaboration work. And so take advantage of that. I see a lot of artists wait until after the fact to try to connect. And that's great. It's never too late, but you're missing some opportunities on multiple levels when you start that networking and that relationship building earlier, and then continue it after the fact.
Yeah. I just want to add one thing, and this is specific to the Atlanta stage that just happened. We had an artist by the name of Divine who was like super dope, super talented. One thing that I noticed was that it was genius in the way that she did it, but she was performing over a lot of instrumentals that were current, right? Now, here's my thing. This is just my mind flowing as like taking the hat off as co-producer of Den Music Fest. As a music producer, I am contacting her and sending her beats because I know that she can rap very well, she can perform very well, but she did like maybe 2 or 3 original records. So I'm looking at that as an opportunity, right? We had a producer that also performed that. I'm going to say, hey, bro, you should connect with her and send her beats because she needs beats. It is what it is. Like, I mean, and she put on a dope performance. I don't want to take anything away from her performance at all, but just my brain looking at it, she did like 3 records that were other beats, like, you know, jacking for beat style, mixtape style. Oh yeah, I'm sending you beats. I'm just gonna send you beats and like let's say like, yo, I love what you did. Let's work together, right? And those are opportunities that can happen just by like you don't see that if you don't stick around. You don't, you know what I mean? Just the things like Nora would say, if you're not sticking around, if you're not engaging beforehand, building that rapport, those are opportunities that are missed. Like we can't be too cool for school at this point, right? Like everybody, let's get on the same page. We're all right here. Let's all work together and help build each other up.
Yeah, the last thing I'm just going to slide in here is just like if you're at whether you're about to perform or even for next year for that matter, like every single performer should be in the comments of every single post that is put up for the festival. All of you should be sharing the posts. And it's one thing that I watch a lot of festivals. It kind of like that always like just said, like we can't be too cool for school here, because if we promote each other, we're exponentially growing our fan base. Without all we're doing is just sharing each other. That's it. And so yeah. I don't know, between comments, between sharing, between reposting, like if you're involved at any capacity, leaving it, like we all know how the algorithm works. Like when you leave comments and people from different locations and different places are also commenting, like it just spreads the word that much more. And so again, whether you're a performer or you're watching, or again, you're a producer or whatever, just like pay attention and like everyone's been saying, stick around. The opportunities are right there. The hangout sessions that happen after the festival are right there, but they're not there if you just peace out as soon as you're done with your performance.
Yeah, that's so true. So true.
So dang, these half-hour episodes go by so fast. So I'm going to plug it for like the 100th time, but go to Live Hip Hop Daily, watch the live stream. We'll make sure that the notes are in the bottom. The LA show is November 8th. That will also be live streamed. So we want to make this accessible to people no matter where you're at. But if you are in LA, come through. It's fun. It's community. You'll be home by 11. Like, you know, we're trying to keep it short and sweet and lovely and feel good. There'll be we've got a lot of great vendors and community support with everything going on. So support Den Music Fest. Go check out the Den Music Fest Instagram and find some of these artists. Even if you can't be there, go look at their Instagrams and their socials and support them. Go to their Bandcamp, sign up for their newsletters. There's so much good music in the world. And these independent spaces that are for the community are especially important now, because let's not forget that hip hop was rooted in being a political and activist space. And so now more than ever, like that's really important. And it's part of why Justin and I continue to do this. So it's also why Sto and I do office hours. We want to create these alternative spaces where we can do things that are a little more good for the world and a little more social justice-ly focused, and not, you know, thinking, well, that's just how it is, because it doesn't have to be that way. So come to Den Music Fest 2025. It's our 8th year. Go back and watch our office hours episodes, because we've got a ton of resources that will prepare you for festivals. We've got episodes on how to do a good performance. We've got episodes on how to build your fan base. We've got episodes on how to book a festival. So if you're interested in coming to Den Music Fest as a performer, Sto and I have set you up Go to the Den Music Fest account and look at how we vet artists. We do that process transparently so you can learn exactly what Justin and I look for when we curate our lineups. Like, the information is there. We want you to access it because we want to support artists and create spaces for hip hop to thrive. That's it for me. Justin, last from you.
No, thank y'all for having a platform to allow me to come on and talk about, Den Music Fest. I do appreciate that. And congrats on 100. You said 101 episodes now?
Yep.
Congrats on that. Doing 100 of anything is tough. Let's celebrate every win that we can. 100 episodes of giving out quality information to artists. Salute to y'all, for real. Salute to y'all. But yeah, that's it. Follow me on everything. LastNameGood. Follow Den Music Fest. And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I was able to look it up. Episode 85. Go back and watch that episode because last year we did this, going over the application process with Den Music Fest and how all that really comes together. So yeah, episode 85, that was a year ago.
Nice.
Definitely go check out that episode as well. Honestly, if you combine both of these episodes together, that's a lot of good information on how to get acclimated with the festival, how to be a part of the festival, and how to take advantage of it when you inevitably become a part of the festival. So make sure you go check that out as well.
Come back in 2 weeks where we've got more Den Music Fest episodes. Reach out to me and Sto if you need anything, including consults and one-on-one work. Reach out to LastNameGood if you need beats. And see y'all around the internet. Thanks, friends.
Peace.